don't really know where we should start, because Manchester United have conceded the most goals by an English club in a group stage with 15. Do we start there? Do we start with maybe Onana, the issues that kind of led to United crashing out? Or do we start with maybe the lowest Champions League group points total set by a Man United side in history with just 4? Or, I mean, where do we start? Where would you like to start?
I don't know, Abby. I don't.
Take a pick.
Like we are breaking all forms of records for the wrong reasons, and the weirdest thing is that throughout this group stage of the Champions League, weirdly, Ten Hag's got a point of we have been in good positions. We've scored a lot of goals and been comfortable. If I just go back to Copenhagen, 2-0 up, 34 minutes gone, Rashford red card, implode. Galatasaray, 2-0 up, mistakes from Onana, them get it to 3-1.
You were comfortable.
Comfortable. Galatasaray at home. Copenhagen at home. Comfortable at 1-0, should have made it 2-0. Nearly give it away, then Onana saved us.
And I won't forget your padlock on Instagram that night.
100%, because he deserved it that day. He was the hero that night. Away at Bayern Munich, first 20-odd minutes, fine, had a couple chances. Allianz is quiet, I was there. Leroy Sané takes a P-roller shot from outside the box, it goes in. So there has been moments where Man United have done all right, but to concede that many goals, to self-sabotage that many times, to make that many individual errors, to finish bottom of that group, it's unforgivable.
It is unforgivable. I mean, United have lost
embarrassing
12 times already.
In all comps.
Yeah. I mean, there is a big problem at Manchester United. And do you know what? I'm not going to say it is all Erik Ten Hag.
No, because it's not.
We've spoken about this on so many different occasions, on different shows. And it isn't just about Ten Hag. I think that there has to be a lot of onus put back on those players. Because some of these players have been there under Jose. They've been under Van Gaal. There's a lot of players that are still at that club.
Ollie.
Under Ollie as well. And I don't think that they pulled their weight. And I'll be honest with you, I know that everyone says, Marcus Rashford was ill and last night, whether or not he was or wasn't, we won't know. But when I watched that Fulham game, for example, with Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and watched how Trent Alexander-Arnold understood the assignment, he dragged Liverpool over the line that game. Albeit a different team to United, but he understands what it means to come through the club and have the club on his back and say, okay, I'm going to be the difference here. I don't feel that Marcus Rashford has that same mindset when it comes to Manchester United.
Yeah, especially not right now. And to be honest though with you, Abby, I in the last couple of weeks, it's like I don't even. We've had this bit of the Marcus Rashford bit when he was playing and not playing well, and rightly so, lost his place after the Newcastle game. But this is another thing we need to realise as Man United fans as well, is that we often look for this one player or these two players or these three players or this one decision from the manager, or that is the reason why. Well, let's just, to X that out, what I've seen is that it doesn't matter who Erik Ten Hag plays. We said take Rashford out of the team against Newcastle. Against Chelsea, we were good. Against Bournemouth, he didn't play, we were rubbish. Who are you going to blame then? We've said, you know what, McTominay doesn't offer as much, etc., but he's scoring goals to get us out of a problem. He needs to start. Then he starts against Bournemouth, and then it was terrible, and he doesn't offer anything, but we wanted him to start. We say, you need to bring in Anthony back again now because the balance on the right-hand side, Marcus Rashford doesn't work there. He does all right against Galatasaray and Chelsea, then it goes back to, it doesn't matter who plays. And that's a big problem for Erik Ten Hag.
So then where does the blame lie?
The blame lies all around.
If it's not with the players, essentially, if it's not with Ten Hag, if
no, it is with the players.
It is with the players.
It is with the manager.
So we're sharing the blame.
Yes, and that's another thing. Again, as football fans, we look for the one reason why it's not right. Change the manager, and it will be fixed. Ten Hag's clueless, so get him out, and then every all these players that Man United got there will be absolutely fine. No, he's our fifth manager in 10 years.
True, but I'm also looking at the stats from last night, and you had one shot on target.
Yeah, pathetic.
You had five shots.
Yeah.
1 on target.
And that was from Luke Shaw from like 30 yards.
You had 0 clear-cut chances. You are at home.
Yeah.
At home. You are Manchester United.
But we're not that, again, that statement.
Manchester
but
United.
until Man United as an institution understands that they are no longer that Man United and understand what it takes to get back to that Man United, nothing will change.
So you're not one of the biggest clubs in the world anymore?
By name.
But renouncing that
By
argument.
Name. By name.
Because if you can't even say this is Manchester United, we
because
hold
we're
ourselves
not.
in a higher...
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years of mediocrity. It's been 10 years of players getting rewarded for failures, getting big contracts, can't move them on, can't sell them, poor recruiting, paying excess transfer fees for players that you shouldn't. It's been 10 years of that.
I mean, we were talking about it before with Højlund, and this is not an attack on Højlund at all, because
No.
I think we both feel that there is definitely something there, and obviously he's really young as well, first season in the Premier League. But how much was it you spent on him? Was it 70?
Yeah, it's good. It's
64
mil? And then with the add-ons that could
Rising.
be, yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of money to spend on a
Disgraceful
player
amount.
from Atalanta who scored 9 goals.
Yeah.
And I always say this to you about the Harry Kane argument. I can't believe you spent the money on Højlund and Mount and didn't go for Kane. Not that I think Kane would necessarily be the difference for you at this point.
I just think they thought or knew that they just wouldn't be able to deal with
Quite possibly, but then my argument is this is Manchester United, and I'm very glad he ended up going to Bayern Munich, and I'm sure Daniel Levy made sure of that. But I've seen Manchester United come and take Michael Carrick. I've seen them come and take Dimitar Berbatov from us.
But
So
what
for
version
me,
of Man United was that?
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is a Manchester United who thought, oh, we're not going to try and get Harry Kane.
No, because they can't. Nowhere near it.
So with your takeover, which is the longest takeover in history, it really is, because we've gone from having all these different people we're going to take over. Now it is going to be Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's going to be Ineos. It was meant to be before Christmas. Now it's apparently January. So what is going on with the takeover? Does this have an effect on the manager? Does it have an effect on the squad? Obviously, we've got January coming up, transfer window.
Yeah, we're not going to.
You're not going to be able to do anything in that transfer window.
Not much. No. It of course it has an effect. When there's instability from top to bottom, and it starts from the top. Like they say, the fish rots from the head. Like it, of course it does. It's not the only reason to why Man United are in the position they are, but the accumulation of years of mistreatment and mismanagement of the football club ultimately lead to what we see now: failed players, bad contracts, big contracts. Can't say, like it leads to it all. So absolutely it does. And then we saw last January. We had to get Wout Weghorst on an we were in a love triangle. Man United were in a love triangle with Besiktas and Burnley.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
Do you know how insane that is? And where we're like, we need a body. We need this striker. We need to get Wout Weghorst. We need to get Marcel Sabitzer on loan. That tells you everything about Man United. And this January, with what's about to happen with the takeover and FFP and things like that, it's going to be very similar. If big offers come in for the likes of a Rafael Varane or Casemiro from Saudi that the club can't turn down, they should absolutely take it. But, the Jadon Sancho situation, Jadon Sancho is sitting there on £350,000 a week.
I feel like you and I differ over the Jadon Sancho situation. Why? Because you are adamant that he should apologise.
Of course he should.
And I think this has been blown and handled way out of proportion.
By who blew it out of proportion?
I think that you are probably allowed to say if you have a grievance, maybe not so public, but I don't think Ten Hag has necessarily handled it the right way. I don't think excluding a player from WhatsApp groups, from you have to go and essentially sit in a different place to eat your lunch in a different car. It's very high school to me.
I don't think we have disagreed on this. No, I think it does. I think it shows that in any workplace,
not good leadership, because there has been so many factions in Manchester
United.
Absolutely,
but that's Manchester United as an institution. But a player cannot. I don't care what is going on. A player cannot type out a statement like that in his iPhone notes, screenshot it, and put it up, calling the manager a liar. You cannot do that.
But if someone said something about you, let's say that was the conversation.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we watched United train the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Jadon Sancho could keep up with that.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything world class that we were watching.
But again, that was just for the media, and that's not.
But still, I don't believe that Jadon Sancho cannot keep up in training for the way that United are playing.
Do you believe that maybe he could be turning up late and his attitude's been poor?
Yeah.
Do you believe that
I think that with Rashford, when last season he punished him, and that was that. I don't think that.
Yeah, so if he would have said sorry, he would have been back in the squad. There seems to be people trying to make the parallel between like other situations that have happened when Ten Hag's been there versus this one. For me, it's as clear as day. Like, if you come out and undermine, if you did that to Pep Guardiola, what do you think would happen? If you did that to Ange Postecoglou and made a statement like that and called the manager a liar, I'm a scapegoat, there's other reasons that I'm not going to go in. What do people think's going to happen? Because if he said sorry, he would have been back.
But if you're Jadon Sancho, then you should just allow someone to just say, well, he doesn't train well, and
you can
you want
go
to
and bang on his doors. Yeah, and everyone's saying, but Ten Hag didn't. He was asked a question on match day, where is Jadon Sancho? If a manager in 2023 can't say, due to training this week, we didn't select him. If a manager can't say that, then we always will pack up and go home.
Yeah,
Pep Guardiola said that Calvin Phillips was overweight.
Yeah, that was mad.
He said he was overweight.
Yeah, he did.
Right. What did Calvin Phillips do?
He didn't lose weight.
But what was his response?
Yeah, look.
What did Harry Maguire do when he was left out of the squad for ages? What did he do? What did Wan-Bissaka do when Ten Hag got here and it was Dalot all the way up to the World Cup? What did he do? Did he have a statement? What has Varane done since he's been left out of the squad? Won 4 Champions Leagues. What did he do?
I see your point. I don't not see your point. I just think it has been blown out of proportion.
By Jadon Sancho.
So then, let's say...
I hate talking about this Jadon Sancho because I'm just like, I'm so done with it. He hasn't said sorry. I don't know. And then if you haven't said sorry and you're... How can you be around the first team group? How can you eat with us? How can we build the team around? How can you be around training? Of course you have to eat separately.
Do you know how long
it
you
sounds worse than
chased
it
Jadon
is.
Sancho for?
Absolutely.
Years.
But then now we're moving the argument on to he hasn't fulfilled his potential. That's different.
He's not even having a chance to fulfil his potential.
And why is he not?
In this United squad.
Why is he not?
So if he was to turn around and say sorry...
He'd be back in.
I'm not so sure.
Not now. It's been too long. No, not now. It's been too long. If he would have said sorry the first time, in that period, he would have been back in.
It's been months, and I think that Jadon Sancho will probably potentially move on.
No, not potentially. No, not potentially. He will be gone.
He will be gone, whether that's on loan or on a permanent deal.
He has to leave. It's gone. It's finished. It's broken.
Which is absolutely crazy.
Another thing at Manchester United. Chased him for 2 years, spent 73 million on him. Where's the potential?
Do you know what? I think this whole... Obviously, he's quite like a... What's the word? Not bossy, but he leads a little bit with an iron fist, Erik ten Hag. And it was something we actually praised him for last year.
There has to be collateral. There has to happen if you want to change the culture.
The way he handled, obviously, the Ronaldo situation and certain other aspects of things at the club, we were kind of praising him for having that kind of mentality. But when you look at the footballer of this day and age, the modern footballer, I don't think that necessarily goes down too well. They like to have an arm around them. And I'm not just saying it because of Spurs.
No, you're right.
They like a manager like a Pochettino did when he came in, or like an Ange, or someone that is going to have that rapport with them and put an arm around them. And
he does it with some. He's done it with Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford has repaid him by not running at Newcastle.
Right.
He's done it with Jadon Sancho this time last year when Erik ten Hag sent him off to help him rebuild his confidence, and Jadon Sancho was very happy that he'd done that. He put an arm around him.
But clearly...
Didn't work.
Things are too broken.
Absolutely.
So when you have that kind of mentality that someone wants to keep telling you what to do and be bossy, and you're butting heads with it, that's when factions start, and that's what's happening.
100%. And I am definitely not naive to think that Ten Hag is not part of this.